Hello, MOVA 8th graders. I hope you are doing well on this Wednesday afternoon. I know that we are in the process of having help sessions for the tail end of this week, and so some of you have emailed me with some issues that you're having on the quiz for balancing equations. So I wanted to just create this little video to try to help you out. We're going to go all the way back to some simple math problems, and I'm going to show you how this simplicity will actually get you to do these chemical equations. So if you see on the board here, we know that 2 plus 2 equals 4, which means that the products, which are chemistry, we call them products, or the reactants, I'm sorry, also equal the product. Okay, so basically what goes in must come out. This is what you read in your lesson about law of conservation. So if 2 and 2 go in, then 4 must come out. Not 3, not 5. Okay, then if we look at another math problem, we have 2 plus 2. We can also set that equal to something else that equals 4. So some of our chemical equations have 2 reactants and then they come out with 2 products. Okay, so we still have 4 on this side and 4 on this side. So 2 and 2 is 4, 3 plus 1 is 4. And so really these are kind of the basics of what you're seeing on the quiz that you are doing today. So let's translate that into elements forming compounds. So we have sodium, and we are going to add a fluorine atom, and that is going to yield sodium fluoride. Okay, and it's nice and neat. And we know that this is our 2 plus 2 equals 4. So sodium goes in, 1 sodium comes out. 1 fluorine goes in, 1 fluorine comes out. So this is like our 2 plus 2 equals 4 equation. All right, but then we also have things that are like our 2 plus 2 equals 3 plus 1. So let's say we have magnesium oxide. We're going to add some lithium chlorine. And then what we get out of this is magnesium chloride. So again, the atoms of these molecules going in have split, and they are going to regroup with the opposite. So we have magnesium chloride and lithium oxide. Okay, so at this point, we do not have 2 plus 2 equals 3 plus 1. And why not? So we start with one element, magnesium, and we figure out on this side how many of those atoms we have. So magnesium, we have 1 on this side, and we have 1 on this side. So those are good. Now we look at our oxygen. We have 1 oxygen on this side. We have 1 oxygen on this side. So those are in equilibrium. Then we look at our lithium. We have 1 lithium on this side, but we have 2 lithiums on this side. Okay, and so guys, we can never change the subscript, because if we change the subscript, it becomes a new compound. The best example of this, and I'll go to another board here, the best example of this is water. So water is H2O, but if we add another oxygen, so let's say we change the subscript from 1 to 2, it changes the molecular composition. So this is water, but this is hydrogen peroxide. And those two things are very different. So when we are balancing our equations, we never want to add to the subscript. What we want to add to make them balanced is what's called a coefficient, and that will go in front of the either the element that you have or the molecule. So because I have 2 lithiums over here, I'm going to put a 2 in front of this one, so now they're balanced. So I have 2 lithiums on this side and 2 lithiums on this side, so I'm good. Then I look here as well. When you put a coefficient in front of something, you are multiplying it with both elements that make up the compound. So on this side, I have 2 lithiums, but because I put that coefficient of 2 here, I also have 2 chlorines. And then I look over here and I also have 2 chlorines. So now this equation is balanced. So please don't let this scare you because it looks a little different. You're basically doing, does 2 plus 2 equal 4, like in this example? Or I have to make 2 plus 2 equal the same, but it will look different. So 2 plus 2 is 4, but so is 3 plus 1. So even though it looks different, we still get 4 on both sides of our equation. So that's how we have to look at balancing chemical equations. It's the same thing. So it may look different. Magnesium oxide and lithium chloride are much different than magnesium chloride and lithium oxide, but we still, what goes in also comes out. So we make them equal to the same. All right, let's maybe look at another one. So we have a diatomic hydrogen, and we add that with our diatomic oxygen, and that makes water. Okay, so we just look at how to make 2 plus 2 equal 4, right? So this is the type of equation that we have, is the straightforward, what goes in must come out. So we have 2 hydrogens, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this equation. So 2 hydrogens on this side. We have 2 oxygens on this side. We have 2 hydrogens on this side, so the hydrogens are in equilibrium, but we only have 1 oxygen here where we have 2 oxygens on this side. So we want to make them equal. So we'll go ahead and add a coefficient. Okay, we don't want to add another oxygen because then it goes from water and it becomes hydrogen peroxide. And again, those two things are not the same. So now we have 2 oxygens on this side and 2 on this side. But look at what we did with hydrogen. When we add a coefficient and the element has already a subscript, then we multiply those together to find out the total number. So the total number of hydrogens on this side of the equation is actually 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. So we have to go back over here and also make sure that we have 4 hydrogens. So we would add the coefficient of 2 here. 2 times 2 is 4. So we have 4 hydrogens on this side, 4 on this side. We have 2 oxygens on this side, and because we added the 2 of the coefficient here, we have 2 oxygens on this side. Okay? All right, we're going to look at maybe one more of these. So let me pull one from your quiz. Let's see. Okay, so here's one from the quiz. So CH4 plus some diatomic oxygen, and sorry for the crazy numbers here, gives us 2 water molecules and carbon dioxide. Okay, so when we were talking math before, this is one of those equations that 2 plus 2 equals 3 plus 1. Okay, so again, we're taking 2 things here, they're going to bust up and they're going to recombine with something new, but we still have to have 4 equals 4. All right, so we start with our carbons. So we have 1 carbon on this side, and here's our carbon here. We have 1 carbon on that side, so that is in equilibrium. We have 4 hydrogens on this side, And because there is a 2 coefficient and the hydrogen has a subscript of 2, we also have 4 hydrogens on this side. Okay, so far we are in equilibrium. We have 2 oxygens on this side, but on this side we have 2 because the coefficient is multiplied by both elements here. So it's 2 times 2 hydrogens. It's also 2 times 1 oxygen. And then we have another 2 oxygens here. So the oxygens we have 4 of on this side and only 2 on this side. So what do we need to do? In order to get 4 on this side, we have to add a coefficient to this oxygen. So now 2 times 2 is 4, and we have 4 oxygens here. So 1 carbon still on both sides, 4 hydrogens on both sides, and now we have 4 oxygens. So now this equation is balanced or in equilibrium. So it asked you in the quiz which element or elements are unbalanced in this equation. It's only the oxygens that were unbalanced. Okay, because we actually had to add a coefficient in order to make it balanced. Okay, so I am hoping that that is helping you with this. If you have any other questions, of course, you can email me with those. We will have another help session tomorrow for Group A. So if you also are having any issues with this, please make sure that you watch this video first to try to help you. You can start it and stop it as much as you want to. But if you're not understanding it still, come to that help session for Group A and I will help you out with that. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.